You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And welcome. It's Monday. Can you believe it? Gosh, these weeks, they go by so fast, and I wonder where they go, and I still have a pile of work on my desk to get done. Over the weekend, I just took a break. I just felt exhausted because ever since I took the COVID shot, I have felt nothing but exhaustion. And it comes and it creeps up on me really, really quickly. And so I just have to stop, I have to rest, and I just got to take it easy. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I just literally did nothing. I don't know, that COVID shot really hit me hard. And I took one, and that's the only one I took because it just knocked me down. And it keeps knocking me down. It keeps showing up. And plus, my legs were hurting so badly that I just literally had to just take it an easy day or 3 days off just to get going again. You know, I had an experience. This is interesting, and I think that you'll probably already know this, but to me it was interesting. I had a conversation with an individual on TikTok who was really, really angry. I mean, pissed off, mad. Just really an ugly type of attitude and individual. She didn't like my response. So what she did is she reported me to TikTok and said I was doing illegal activity, which I don't. The only postings I have there are motivational type postings. And in fact, the 3 that they took down, that TikTok took down based upon him, plus froze my account until last night, were very motivational type. And I talked about the moratoriums and how they're ending, that you need to sit down and talk with the mediator, get things going before they literally come after you legally. Be proactive. And then the other one was another motivational talk. I can't remember what it was about at the moment. Both of them were. So they took down 3, and they shut down my account for 3 days. So a lot of you have been out there talking about how TikTok is censoring you. Well, I think it's just a little bit more than that. Because what an individual can do is they can send a complaint to TikTok. And TikTok has to investigate it, but while they're investigating it, they shut you down. And you can't post, you can read, you can listen to all the TikToks going on, but you cannot respond to posts, you cannot talk to anybody, you cannot post anything. And that is kind of a situation. So people went in there and they chose 3. They complained on 3 things. Now, TikTok has gone and they've reviewed it, and so last night they sent me an apology saying we reviewed your TikTok postings and they look fine and we reinstated you, and thank you for your patience. That was their comment. Thank you for your patience. But I think that is happening not just on TikTok but on Facebook and everything, where there are individuals who do not agree with your responses, and so they file a complaint against you. And they know how the system works. And so they try to do you damage. They try to shut you down. They try to get back at you. And these are individuals who have mean-spirited type thoughts. They don't want to debate anything. If you ask them to debate, they will not debate. Instead, what they do is they call you all kinds of names. Now, these are individuals who really truly have a problem. They probably cannot get along in life because they cannot have a conversation. They cannot take criticism. They cannot take dissent. They are intolerant of you and me because we believe differently. Now, the responses that she sent back to me were really, really bad responses. They were racist in nature, and they were very hateful. Very hateful. And so those types of individuals are going to go around and they are going to try to cause as much damage to people who do not believe as they do. So sometimes I think that I don't believe it is TikTok taking you down because they just want to take you down, but it's because of individuals who have hate in their heart, and they've got this desire to do damage to people who do not believe as they do. So I was patient. I just waited because I knew what was going to happen. I knew that I had done nothing. I had said nothing badly. But the other individual wanted to do damage because I questioned what she said. And she couldn't take it. So she came out, and if you reviewed her, what really bothered me is as I reviewed her account in TikTok, she just lambasted people. If they did not like what she said, she just lambasted them. And the other issue that bothered me when I was talking with her is that she sent me a video stating that she was an attorney. If you want to fight, then I'm an attorney. But if you look at her page, she's selling jewelry. So what is she? Selling jewelry, or is she an attorney? She didn't act like an attorney. So we have these individuals out there, and we just have to, don't be afraid of them. If they're saying something that is incorrect, challenge them. Challenge their truth. Because their truth, they never have any documentation. They will spout the Constitution. They will spout all kinds of different things. But they have no backing to what they're trying to prove. Now, I might have gone along with her if she had not have scolded and become so angry with her thought process, which then became words of hate. Words of hate are so dangerous because they can do so much damage. Not to people, but to yourselves. If you're spouting anger, if you're spouting hate, that hate will come back to you. That's how it always works. What goes around comes around. It's karma. So if you're projecting hate, that hate's going to come back to you in some way or another. And that's why you have to be so careful about the words that you use, the words that you type, the words that you say out loud, or in videos, or vlogs, or whatever you want to call them. You have to be very carefully thinking about your words. Now, TikTok was very nice about it. I mean, they approached me very nicely, told me what happened, gave me a date of when I would be coming back online. So I knew what was happening, and I knew that the postings that I had done were not there to hurt people, but they were there to lift people up. And when there's people of anger out there, they don't like those kinds of words. They don't like the words that lift people up, that teach you how to communicate, that teach you how to resolve issues. You see, I'm a mediator, so I mediate situations. And let me tell you, when I'm sitting in some mediation sessions, there are some very angry people in there, and we have to learn. I have to teach how to reduce the anger and focus on the points that we need to resolve. But if you have anger in your heart, you don't care. You don't care what people say. If they say something good that's supposed to uplift you, they will take it and they will tear it down. I don't know how human beings became this way. I tell you, well, I'm just going to say it, okay? The internet has become a disaster zone when it comes to communication. The internet has been this place where people can sit behind a screen with a baseball cap on and just ridicule, put people down, hate people, try to destroy people. It's become a mess. So I think it's up on us. It's back on us. We are the human beings, not the machine. The machine's not going to go in there and say, oh, that's a bad word. That's a bad way to say that, so I'm going to correct it. No. The machine's not there to do that. It comes back to us as human beings because we are responsible for the words that we use. Not the machine. It's us. Our brains that develop those sentences in paragraphs, in words, in vocal noise that comes out of us. We're responsible for those. No one else. It's all on our shoulders because we are responsible for the very words that we utter out of our mouth. I wonder, where have we gone wrong? Is it because we're spending too much time in front of TikTok and Facebook and CloutHub and all these other places, there are so many out there. Are we literally spending so much time trying to put the other person down? Is that our whole goal of using the internet? Remember, at the very beginning of this, we had only one basically out there that did this type of thing until Facebook came along and a whole bunch of other places. But they were places that we went to because we wanted to talk to our friends and family and see the pictures and see our vacations and see their dogs and see their children, see their anniversaries, see their birthdays. That was the place that we went to. We went to social media because we wanted to be in constant contact with those that we loved and admired. But unfortunately, what has happened is that politics came into social media and it destroyed the communication process that you and I used to have of civility. Civility's gone. So here's my suggestion. If you see someone on the internet and they're saying and they're spouting stuff that are incorrect and are hateful, you can challenge them. But challenge them in a way that asks the question, why do you say that? And this is the reason why I say, because I see something totally different. If they come back with hate, don't pay attention to the hate. Again, restate your question. Stay on the point. Because if they have an argument, they will have the data to back it up. If they don't, they're going to start calling you names and start putting you down, putting out racial slurs and everything else of hate. But if they literally have an argument, they will have the data to back it up. Ask the question, where's your data? Where's your support? You see, we can do things in a nice way. We can ask questions in a nice way. We can also make statements in a nice way. It's the other individual who responds back with anger and hate. Those are the individuals that you stay on point with. Stay on point. When people come into my mediation sessions, we are all over the place sometimes. Because they want to bring up of everything that has happened in the past. They want to bring up this and that and such and what you said and what you didn't do and it goes on. And there's so much anger, and it's my responsibility as a mediator to get to the point. Let's focus on the point. And that's the only way that we can resolve mediations or disputes or conflicts is by staying on point. If you stay on point, you can resolve the issue. If you stay on point, you can have a resolution to whatever conflict or dispute that you had, and you can enter onto the other side with an agreement that says, okay, this is what we're going to do. But if you go off into tangents of hate and trying to disturb the other person and trying to destroy everything that is going on in the process of mediation, then you're not going to have anything. It's going to be destructive. So that's how I thought of TikTok, because TikTok, whatever it is, it's not really these social media is shutting you out sometimes. Now, sometimes they do. But sometimes it's the individuals on the other side who don't like what you say who are causing the problem by creating a complaint and sending it into the social media entity. And of course, what do? They shut you down until they can review what was said and done. So, we have a new challenge. Isn't it funny how we always have these new challenges all the time? But it's the people on the other side who wish to not debate, who wish not to listen to dissent, who take it out on individuals who don't believe as they do, and they try to shut you down. Go with the flow. That's all I can tell you is go with the flow. If you know that you're saying okay things and you're doing good things and you're trying to uplift people and if you're trying to have a good spirited debate, there's nothing wrong. As long as you have not put them down, as long as you have not said bad words to them, you'll be okay. Stick to the point. Stick to the point and you'll be okay. Do it masterfully. Do it respectfully. Do it in a very civil, formal manner. And you'll be okay. You just have to change your process now of using social media. Life changes, right? We don't like it. But we have to go with the flow until we can do something else that stops this type of conduct. So over the weekend, I was listening to a lot of individuals, especially in the healthcare industry, who were literally walking away from their jobs because they were being forced away by hospitals. Now, last week, I did a couple of blogs on do we need to question the ethics of hospitals? For a while, though, they used these hospitals during the COVID pandemic. They used them. They beat them down. They hit them hard. They put them in places that they were susceptible to this COVID virus. They worked them 24 hours a day. They worked them. They were the kings and queens of healthcare at that time. They were the frontline worker. They were those individuals who did whatever they could to keep people alive. But today, those who will not take the vaccine. Remember, when they were working through this COVID situation, they had no vaccine. The only thing they had were the medication that is given to individuals that help them get through the COVID and get out of the hospital. So they had access to those medications, but they had no access to a vaccine. And so now what hospitals are doing is that they're saying, you're no longer needed if you're not going to take this vaccine. Your job is no longer there for you because you refuse to take the vaccine. Now, the ethical part of this is that every single patient, when they enter into that hospital, has a patient bill of rights. And that bill of rights says that if you are going to give some medication to that patient, that they need to know what that medication is, and they can make the decision to take it or not take it. If they're going to be injected by any type of medication, they have the right as a patient to take it or not take it. If there is a procedure, they have the right to do it or not do it. And the other part of that Bill of Rights says that on all of those procedures, all of that medication that they're going to give to you, that you are to be explained the side effects and the good and the bad of that medication. So when you send your when you send your employee down to that lab or down to that section of the hospital that says you have to take that employee, that vaccine, they now become a patient of that hospital. And at that time, they get to decide as a patient to take the vaccine or not take the vaccine, to accept the procedure or not accept the procedure based on their personal decision on their healthcare rights. So I want you to think about that, because if employers in hospitals are going to force you, mandate you, in order for you to keep your job, to disrupt your health care and your Bill of Rights as a patient, then I think there is a legal challenge here. And I've got a feeling it's going to start happening within the next few days. That might have even started. It's all down to the matter of choice. It's all down to you and I choosing what we feel is good for our body. And I also heard a lot of different stories of how people have been affected by this vaccine. So there's a lot to look at, right? And I'm not telling you yay or nay to take the vaccine. If you want to take it, take it. If you don't want to take it, don't. If you want to wear that mask, wear it. If you don't, don't. But that's your responsibility. You see, your healthcare decision is your responsibility. So if you decide to take the vaccine, great, that's your decision. But I'm encouraging you to make your own decisions. Do not let companies, do not let employers, do not let hospitals, do not let medical teams tell you you have to take something because you don't. And look for your legal way out on this. See, I'm not saying whether or not if it's good or bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that what you have to focus on is the ability of you making that choice for yourself, not by any other person or government or employment entity. We are living in interesting times. We're living in a time that we're not really quite sure of which way to turn. But I think we have to use, as human beings, the common sense approach and what is good and what is bad. What is ethical, what is unethical. Common sense is what makes good decisions. It isn't somebody else making that decision for you. You make that decision. And use the common sense application. And you'll be okay. But do not let people tell you what you can and cannot do about your health care, about your health, your body, your mind, your spirit. So that's the end of my podcast for today. Kind of heavy, huh? Not much fun. I wish I had a joke to tell you, but I didn't come prepared with a joke. I should have come with a joke. Listen, if you guys have a joke, send it to me. I want to hear from you. Send it to Mediator at lodge, LODGE-CO.com. If you have a good joke, I'll share it along with my audience. Maybe we'll have just a pure podcast one day of jokes. I wrote a book. It was called Corona. And what I did is I was reading Facebook and I was reading all these social media, and you guys were funny. You guys were putting content out there that was just absolutely hilarious. And so I took everybody's comments and jokes and everything else, and I put it into a book, and it's called Corona. It's on Amazon.com. It's not a fancy book. It is not a fancy book, but what I did is just take all of you guys who are funny, and put it into a book. If you want to go out and look at it, it's on Amazon. It's called Corona. And you'll see that, yeah, you guys made me laugh. During that lockdown, I tell you, it was so good to laugh. And you guys were posting funny things on Facebook, especially on Facebook. There were tons and tons and tons of stuff being published, and it was funny as hell. So I think one day, you know what, I tell you what I will do. I will sit down and read you some pages of what I wrote in that book. And let's go for it. Let's have a little bit of laughter. I'll do that on Friday, okay? On Friday will be my funny day on the COVID and how we all face it through our lockdowns and everything. Let's go back. Let's just have a little bit of fun. I tell you, the number one thing that can boost your immunity is laughter. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. If you would like to help me out, if you like the content of my podcasts and vlogs and blogs, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge, Lodge. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. And you can help me there. I have all my blogs and vlogs there and podcasts there, so you can see it. It's a good place. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. I'm not charging you anything. That's just where I'm putting it. If you want to give me a donation, that's great. I'll take it. I will take it. By the way, I wanted to tell you one other thing. You know, we have been locked down. We have been on doing all the stuff. And meeting people and traveling and trying to do all that other stuff, it has been very difficult. So I made a decision yesterday. No, on Saturday. I made a decision Saturday. I'm going to change my life. And I've decided to do the Great Loop. Do you know the Great Loop? The Great Loop goes from Florida all the way up in the coastal waterway, up to New York and around to the Great Lakes, down by Chicago, and then down through the Mississippi, and then back to, you end out, I think it's Louisiana you come out at, and then you go over to South Florida, and then you've made your loop. That is the whole loop. It's 3,000 miles, so I've decided to do that. So listen, if you want to help me on this Great Loop, help me out on my Buy Me a Coffee page, because I am going to continue as I do this loop. I'm going to do some blogs and vlogs on this experience and also how it applies to business. And I'm still going to be doing my mediation work. I'm going to be doing my business consulting work. I'm going to be doing my podcast live from, I don't know, a boat of some kind. I don't know I'm going to roar it or we'll have an engine, but I'm starting that process of looking at how to get up and do the Great Loop. I just want to do it because, you know, you just got to set a goal and you got to go for it. I was going to go, in fact, I went out and I bought a bicycle for this, and I was going to go to Italy and do the Tuscany route. But with this COVID and this up and down of lockdowns and not lockdown and what you can travel with and everything else, I decided, you know what, forget it. I'll wait for it to die down a little bit, and I'll choose a different goal. And my goal was chosen, the Great Loop. And I'm looking forward to it. So help me out. Go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. Listen, if you have any business questions or comments, or if you want to talk to me about something, send me an email to Mediator at lodge-co.com. Again, that's Mediator at lodge-co.com. Everybody go out and have a great Monday. This is a Monday. Rise and shine and give God the glory. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.